As we're monitoring the impending invasion of the Haitian illegal aliens into the state of Florida and the ongoing disastrous southern border, it appears that House Republicans might be buckling to agree to more massive Democrat-level overspending, including sending billions for overseas adventurism while the homeland remains unprotected, leading the FBI to say it's not a matter of if, but when we endure a terrorist attack that kills Americans. Joining me now, Florida Congresswoman María Salazar. It's good to see you, Congresswoman. Given that the FBI is making such warnings, how can the Republicans in good conscience vote to fund the Biden regime's illegal immigration campaign and to fund overseas wars?
Oh, no, and thank you for the opportunity. I think that number one, number two, and number three, we have to secure the border. We have to, and that's the big fight in Congress. The Biden administration has taken 3.5 years. 8 million illegals have come in. We don't know where they are, most of them, and this is the time of reckoning. In the meantime, we have Haiti, that it's collapsing. We have Cuba, that it's in turmoil as well. So the United States needs to say, we're present, we are back to be the leader of the world. But unfortunately, the Biden administration, once again, is not taking that role. And we're waiting for them to do it.
No leadership there in the Biden regime. I want to get to Cuba here in a second, but your state is gearing up for a Haitian invasion between the disaster at the southern border and the influx of illegal aliens massing toward Florida. And reports saying that the Biden regime is leaning toward just letting all those folks bum rush Florida the same way they've allowed them to bum rush Texas. How much more do you think our people can take of this?
I don't think this is really going to happen because we have a fantastic governor, Governor DeSantis. He is taking all the measures, all the precautions that are needed. But at some point, we would need to understand what is it that we're going to do with Haiti. We know that barbecue, that in my personal opinion, we should barbecue himself, even though that's his name, because I'm sure you know that is what he does to his victims. Barbecue, the leader of this gang of 9, that is right now 80% of the Haitian capital is in the hands of the gangs. And I was just talking to my staff, and they were telling me that the plan that the State Department has been sending to the House Foreign Affairs Committee, the State Department is sending a plan, is sharing with the members of Congress, that was put together by the Kenyans, by Kenya. So the State Department does not have a plan that is originated in the United States. Because I'm sure you know that the Kenyans were the ones who said, I will send 1,000 soldiers if the United States pays for it. $300 million. And McCall, the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, he said, well, but I need to know, how is that money going to be spent? Transparency, guardrails, we need an exit strategy. So I'm just giving the fact so the people will know that the State Department under the Biden administration just doesn't have it together at this hour. We certainly want them to, because the poor Haitians, they need our help, but they need the rest of Latin America, the Dominican Republic, the Jamaica. We need a group of nations, our neighborhood, to put together a plan so we can help the Haitians get rid of barbecue.
Well, I think that's a bumper sticker for the entire Biden regime. They just don't have it together. Now, look, if the left continues to accumulate power in the United States unopposed, as they have so far for the last 3 years, you know where it leads. It leads to Cuba. Given what's going on down there right now, protests erupting, they have power outages, they have food shortages across that country because it's a communist country. Shouldn't those with a conscience in government do all they can to stop America from devolving to Castro's communist paradise?
Well, I represent the Cuban exile community in Congress. We know what democratic socialism means. Look right there, that's the perfect result. I believe that this is the moment once again, for the White House to step up and say, we're going to give connectivity to the Cubans, because that's all they basically need to be able to communicate from point A to point B. So if they want to organize massive demonstrations, claiming asylum, claiming libertad, and asking the Castro regime to give them a better life, that's what we need to do. Provide connectivity, because Cuba could be Hong Kong, Taiwan, Singapore, but they're not because of socialism. And going back to what you said at the beginning, I always tell everyone, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Democratic socialism, any way they want to call it, is beautiful in the theory, but it's miserable in the practice. And right there, we have it in Cuba, that the Cubans have been claiming we want to be like Miami for years. And now I think we're at the end of the rope. I think this is the beginning of the end. And the Cubans will be free and will say no more to the Castro regime on the streets of Havana.
I remember it was Obama that gave them an olive branch and a lifeline when the yes. Castro regime could have fallen years ago. But of course, you know, yes. these left-wingers, they always stick together. They always like keeping that boot right on the throat of the people, no matter if it's in Cuba or it's here in the United States. Maria Salazar, thank you very much. Appreciate the visit. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome back anytime.